Howdy folks, Brother Jim reporting here from the Western Journal. Ilhan Omar wants to bring in a UN High Commissioner to stop U.S. from protecting sovereign borders. By C. Douglas Golden. Apparently having an actual border and taking action against those who illegally cross it is such a heinous thing to Representative Ilhan Omar that we need the United Nations in the United States to deal with it. Yes, really, welcome to America, a la squad. According to Fox News, the Minnesota Democrat made the proposal during a speech on Tuesday. Quote, "We should do what any other country does by dealing with this situation in a serious way," end quote, she said. Quote, "So we have to bring in the United Nations High Commissioner on Refugees, an agency that has the expertise and the training to handle massive flows of refugees humanely." Of course, she wants Donald Trump impeached and calls him a racist and everything in the book, of course. According to the Minneapolis Star-Tribune, Omar made the remarks at a Minneapolis forum on immigration, an issue on which she said that the United States was, quote, "losing our moral high ground." Quote, "What we face is not an invasion," she said. Quote, "This is not an invasion, it's an immigration crisis." She also believes that people illegally crossing our borders aren't really doing anything illegal. Quote, "We are treating people like criminals when they have not committed a crime," Omar said. Now, should we go over all the immoral and illegal things that Ilhan Omar has done? Marrying her brother just to get over here from Somalia? And many other illegal things, avoiding paying taxes, lying on her taxes, and oh my God, the list goes on and on. Oh, and she's had many different husbands and many different lovers, and right now she just stole another. A woman has just come forward to say how she is having sex with her husband, and that's why her husband is divorcing her. It doesn't make any sense, she says, for us to be committing these kinds of human rights violations, to have these policies in the way we interact with migrants and asylum seekers, if we want to continue to be the kind of country that condemns countries in Africa, in Asia, or Latin America countries for its treatment of refugees and asylum seekers. Let's see, condemns countries in Africa. Oh no, not Somalia. No, we would never include that one, huh? Because apparently every single one of the asylum seekers meets the credible fear threshold. Quote, "We're all here tonight because we all recognize that immigration is one of the defining civil rights and human rights issues of our time," she told the audience, calling immigration a broken system. On the last count, she's right, although perhaps not in the way she had intended it to be. I suppose Omar would prefer we focus on virtually anything that doesn't have to deal with the recent allegations that she's been funneling campaign funds to a married man she's allegedly having an affair with. That being said, while the idea of the United Nations taking a significant role in United States border policy may go over well with the base, I suspect this isn't exactly going to endear her to moderates or those who aren't already enamored with the squad. There were no calls for the UNHCR to intervene during the Obama administration's border crisis, during which, as many conservatives will remind you, the whole children in cages thing started. What's changed now? Well, for starters, the percentage of illegal immigrants requesting asylum. In 2014, Department of Justice data shows 47,000 migrants requested asylum. In 2016, that number went up to 82,000, about almost double. By 2018, that number had nearly doubled to 162,000. Through June 30th, 2019, the total for the year was 157,000. It's worth digging a bit deeper on those numbers, though. There are two types of asylum applications, of affirmative and defensive. An affirmative application is from someone who has yet to face deportation hearings. Defensive asylum, meanwhile, involves individuals who were already facing deportation. The percentage of defensive asylum cases has spiked significantly, as the Washington Post noted in April. And as the New York Times' Thomas Friedman noted, the percentage of illegal immigrants claiming asylum after being apprehended has gone from 1% to roughly 30% in just a period of a few years. So yes, the system is broken. Yes, there's an immigration crisis. The problem, however, isn't one for the UNHCR, which is the beast system forming in the world, which is the best suited to handle migrant flows from countries like Syria and Burma, where there's an actual human rights crisis. There's no way to look at those numbers and not realize that the massive spike in asylum claims isn't based on any great humanitarian emergency that's developed of late in Central America. Instead, this is a matter of shifting tactics. Even without all of this, there's something deeply distressing about a politician inviting the United Nations in to deal with a matter of policy. Isn't that kind of like subverting against the President of the United States? This has nothing to do with solving a border crisis and everything to do with how the Trump administration has been handling it, from reducing the credible fear threshold, which is low enough that 3/4 of asylum seekers currently meet it, to working with the other Central American countries to ensure they secure their borders and take in asylum seekers themselves. The administration is taking common sense steps, and common sense currently drives the left crazy. I wonder why the devils might be driven crazy. Thus, it's time for the UNHCR to come in and tell us what for. The likelihood of this happening is roughly zero, though. The current administration isn't going to countenance it. If a Democratic administration takes over in 2021, the call for the UNHCR intervention is going to go poof, no matter how bad the border crisis gets. As a peek into what Ilhan Omar and the new American left thinks of U.S. sovereignty at the southern border, however, this is a dangerous and telling proposal. And the best part, this is my comments on what you see is happening as a big picture in the United States and the world from a biblical standpoint, biblical prophecy. Number one, this statement by Ilhan Omar just proves she wants radical Islam to continue to invade the U.S. as they already have done across all of Europe and even Australia and Canada now. Lies. Well, that was put in there, but that's down below. But second one is truth. The Vatican created Islam over 1,500 years ago to be the Christian killing machine. So the Vatican, or papacy, same name, could not be blamed anymore for killing them. That's right. The Vatican is responsible for killing about 300 million Christians in the last 2,000 years, at least. And this truth that the Vatican created Islam over 1,500 years ago is by the evangelist and recanted Jesuit priest Alberto Rivera. Number three, the fact is, if you are Islamophobic, you are a woke person. Number four, lies. The Pope calls you Islamophobic if you disagree with Ilhan Omar. We all know that the Pope has called for Islam to invade all of Europe under the branded words of migrants need a place to stay, so you need to all open your borders to the poor Islamic migrants. 5. Since all the world knows Nazis and communism is hated, the New World Order beast system is using the nice name for the end times 7 years of Great Tribulation, as noted in Revelation chapter 7, verse 14. The saints came out of Great Tribulation are called saints of the Great Tribulation period. They are shying from communism, though, replacing it with the word socialism, while using indoctrinated anti-fascists on the ground to beat up and intimidate all Trump supporters of capitalism and white nationalists. Problem here is most Antifa are whites. That's right. And they are indeed the workers of true communism, of which they know not. 6. The white elitists, or black hat white elitists, are pushing hate on white people? Fathom that one for a moment. It's true. Mayor de Blasio, America's worst mayor, is a perfect example of that one, isn't he? Number 7, the white elitist black hats are using the blacks and any person of color to label white people racist. White people are inherently made in their DNA are racist. You cannot be anything but racist. Black people cannot be racist, period. Never can. But it's funny, you can talk to more black people who admit that they find much more racism in black people. Oh, I wonder how that one works out, huh? So once again, this is taught in the indoctrination centers that are still labeled today schools and colleges. 8, their mission, elitists, is to kill, steal, and destroy because they worship the father of lies, Satan, who comes to kill, steal, and destroy. 9, most Islamic politicians are started by women in other countries. Why? Because it sounds very friendly and loving and sweet, doesn't it? A woman would bring in Sharia law? You bet your booties. So, later on comes the male Islamic politicians and Sharia law. 10, Islam, who was created by Mystery Babylon of Revelation 17, will indeed be the Christian beheading machine for Babylon. Every country they invade, they rape, murder, torture, and practice martyrdom, blowing themselves up for their false god Allah. And they blow themselves up so that they can receive 72 virgins in heaven, says the Islamic cult, false cult of death. Right there in your Quran. All you got to do is go look it up. Number 11, Trump is the only man that God used to stop Islam invading the U.S. Remember that one. Remember that. Trump is the only man that God has used to stop Islam from invading the U.S. No one else has done it. Number 12, Islam has infiltrated almost every other country now. Radical Islam. 13, all countries are being crushed economically because of this damnable cult of death, except for the U.S. See, Trump is the president of the United States. Trump is the only one God is using to get rid of Islam, radical Islam in America. 14, the last trump is the timestamp for the timing of the rapture. This is so easy to see if it is Trump, our great president, that most people laugh it off and ignore it. As it says in 1 Corinthians 15:52, let me read it to you. In a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. See, this is a time stamp because it says at the last trump. Very clear. But in all your modern perversions, it's not there. Trump is God's servant, or Cyrus come back in the spirit through Trump. Number 16. Trump attended Fordham Jesuit University. Jesuits are the Pope's guards and henchmen created to bring forth the end times beast system. Now listen closely. 17. Trump will make a decree to build the third temple in Jerusalem for God. What Trump and Israel believe is God will come down from heaven and enter this temple. But the Bible tells us it will be the Antichrist. Both Trump and most of Israel are on the same page of belief here. Why do you think they love him so much? Why do you think that Trump is on the Jewish shekel as of today, as Cyrus? 18. The rapture happens at the last trump, as I already gave you. The Vatican took all this out of the Latin Vulgate modern perversions of today in the last 200 years, but still stands in the word of truth, the King James Version Bible. 19. And the final. And Trump also prepares the world for the beast system. Not sure if he goes up in the rapture or not. That's the decision of the judge of the quick and dead, Jesus Christ. So, there you have it. Bible prophecy and Ilhan Omar is the face of the Jezebel's spirit, who worketh in the church of Thyatira that Jesus spoke of in Revelation chapter 2. This church created Islam. This church is the Vatican, the papacy, the Roman Catholic Church, the same Roman Catholic Church that used to be called the Roman Empire, who put Jesus on the cross 2,000 years ago. It's all there, folks, in history, but no one wants to talk about this and all these facts. May the Lord bless you today, and we'll see you next time. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a very important announcement. Would you like to see most of your illnesses go away? Let me introduce you to the Water Smacker. A new modern breakthrough in science has come to knowledge, ridding your body of many toxins through this state-of-the-art new technology. The testimonials are endless. People have been healed of shingles, pancreas survivor healed, colon cancer patient healed. Your skin returns its oil back to itself and elasticity. Gray hair goes away. Look younger. Red blood cells return to being round. Plaque in your arteries is wiped out. Blood pressure is lowered. Feel stronger and have more energy. Return to a more youthful feeling and look. Pick up your Water Smacker today for only $350, and don't forget to mention Brother Jim sent you. The link is down below, along with the website and other videos for a much longer description. Thank you.